Welcome to Cool But Rude, a TMNT rewatch podcast. Today we'll be going over Season 2, Episode 1, Return of the Shredder. Stay tuned. Okay, so this week's episode is going to be Return of the Shredder. I'm Christopher.
I'm Robert.
And I'm mischievous Mike of the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang.
Oh, snap.
Oh, no.
They've infiltrated.
Tremble in your shoes and stuff.
Trembling, and yeah. And actually, we just wanted to go ahead and throw it out there that the actual original air date for this episode was 10/1/88. So this came out in October of 1988.
It was a good year.
It was a very good year.
Great month.
Yeah, no, so I'm excited to start a new season. This one kicks off pretty hard, and I was laughing pretty good at this one. But before we start, was there anything we wanted to also go over, or anything hot happening?
I have one thing, but I like how you specifically said this. You were laughing at this one, because I feel like this one is more laugh at than laugh with.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah. There's some moments that are like, what?
Yeah, I watched the entire episode with a grin on my face, the big stupid grin on my face, and chuckling the whole way through. This was a good one, a funny one.
This is actually one of the funnier ones we've seen so far,
100%.
unintentionally.
Unintentionally, you're right, exactly. Yes.
And actually, to piggyback off of some of what Mike's done with the tracking, is like, I was actually like, I don't usually catch these things, but there were some things that were like just like blatant. I was like,
blatant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Like,
yeah, both voice and color.
Oh, straight up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Things. Yeah, they're definitely like well, I mean, we'll get to it, but yeah, there were ones where I'm like, oh my, like I don't usually watch out for these, and 90% of the time Mike says like this or that voice got switched, and I'm like, oh really? I didn't notice, but this one, there are a couple of really bad ones.
I'm like, who's talking? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I was listening back real quick, and then we'll get started. I was listening back to episode 4, and I feel the need to apologize because Mike was talking about like how, you know, this or there's something or other brought back a bunch of nostalgia, and then you were like, you know, thank you guys for doing this with me, and I pretty much just like changed the subject.
I didn't notice that.
That's really funny because after a second, Chris says something like, you know, I don't want to leave Mike hanging, but yeah, thank you guys also. And I don't even remember if I said anything.
So anyways.
But anyway.
Yeah. I got a new toy.
Yeah, I got a new toy.
Get pouring your heart out.
But anyway, I'll just to toss my hat in. This has been like the highlight of my week lately. So yes, thank you guys also for doing this.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
But also, in the same vein as Robert, it was pointed out to me that I had a moment similar vein where Robert was doing our weekly rundown. You know, he's going through the recap of the episode, and then he's just like, yeah, so and then this happens, and that was the end. And I basically am like, cool. So anyway, and just pivot right to the fact, like totally dismiss it and go back to something else. So I'll try to be a little more aware.
Actually, if that's what I'm thinking of, I think what happened was I actually kind of skipped some stuff, and you were like, well, hold on, I want to back up and talk about this and that. I don't think that's uncalled for.
Okay.
I'm actually the biggest jerk of us all because I've let you hang yourself out there when there was no need. Because first, Robert, you actually did also agree and say, you know, that this podcast was, you know, fun and you appreciated everybody doing it and everything. You ended up saying it, but I just let you, you know, expose yourself and, you know, look like a jerk real quick.
Be vulnerable.
And I know what you're talking about, Chris, but honestly, when we listened back to it, you said awesome as you finished up the rundown, and it just sounded normal to me.
Okay.
But I'll just let you feel bad, you know.
Oh, I mean, yeah, totally. I mean,
You know, as big a jerk as I am. So
yeah, you know, I think people don't think I get to eat crow much, so why not, right?
eat crow. That's one I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, but yeah, no, totally glad to start off a new season with you guys, and ready to jump into this one. So, Robert.
All right. Well, I'll get to the rundown then.
Well,
what's the title of this one again, Chris?
This is Return of the Shredder.
Return of the Shredder.
Mike,
did you have something?
yeah, before you get into business, I have a little bit of housekeeping.
Oh, God.
Okay.
We have reached the pizza threshold with this episode. Our threshold was 10 pizzas mentioned in an episode, or just over the span of all of the episodes by the Turtles.
Yeah. Every time we reach 10. Yeah.
Right. And this one puts us at 11. So we gonna be eating pizzas, fellas. And so everybody just kind of sit tight, enjoy the podcast, and at the end we're gonna suss out all that pizza business.
Yeah, so at the end we'll figure it out, and then we'll be doing the actual eating next time, I guess.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mike. So, all right, here we go. For this episode, so after an opening scene in which Leonardo and Michelangelo stop a robbery at a grocery store, the show cuts to Krang and Shredder in Dimension X. It's here where the Technodrome ended up at the end of season 1, and it is here where we see Shredder begging Krang to send him back to Earth. Krang agrees to do so more readily than Shredder expected, but Shredder takes his opportunity and runs through the portal and back to Earth. At the Channel 6 news station, Byrne orders April to report on the Turtles as a menace to the city, and we soon learn that he's doing so because he's romantically involved with a woman who happens to hate turtles. Shortly after, we cut back to Shredder appearing back at Earth once again and fighting off 2 would-be robbers. However, Bebop, Rocksteady, and the Foot Soldiers are nowhere to be found. Shredder calls Krang to ask him about this, and Krang tells Shredder, quote, "I will never give you another speck of aid until you prove worthy of it," meaning when Shredder finally defeats the Turtles on his own. To do this, Shredder takes over a dojo, trains the students, and orders them to dress in turtle costumes and rob establishments around the city to turn the public against the Turtles and draw the Turtles out so he can take them on. Krang eventually learns of Shredder's plan and complains that it will not produce results fast enough, so Shredder breaks into the psychiatric facility to which Baxter Stockman has been committed and recruits him to work for him once again. Stockman, using a new rat-catching vehicle he's constructed, plows into the Turtles' hideout and captures Splinter to lure the Turtles. The Turtles track him down, and after a run-in with the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang, which is what Shredder's new students have been called, they finally find Splinter at the dojo Shredder took over. Splinter is tied up by Shredder, who's preparing to execute him. A fight ensues against Stockman, who attempts to take out the Turtles in his rat-catching vehicle, but the Turtles fight him off and free Splinter just in time before he's killed by a giant battering ram. After hearing of Shredder's failure, Krang reiterates his refusal to send any help until Shredder defeats the Turtles on his own, and the Turtles, upon returning home, are able to relax once again while they watch a Channel 6 newscast by April, who clears their name on the air and indirectly thanks them for stopping the ongoing crime spree for which they were framed.
Yeah, that sums it up nicely. You know, really, just right off the bat, like, you know, it opens up with that scene where they're in the grocery store and, you know, they're like in their quote unquote disguises and the place starts getting robbed, and it's like they jump in and like save the day or whatnot. I don't know why, but I do not remember them actually doing day-to-day like hero stuff or like kicking ass stuff. Like, I always remember them like fighting the boss of the week or, you know, big bad of the week, but not like just like street thugs every so often. To see them just like beat up a couple of like punks was like cool. And it's like it's just 2 turtles too. It's like not the whole crew. So whenever I see that also, it's another one where it's also like, oh, that's tight. It's like it's just a couple of them, you know. It's like when you see like only a couple of the X-Men, you know, off doing something and they like kick somebody's ass like just on a one-off. Not a whole like everybody pile on Magneto situation.
That is kind of a neat observation. I didn't really think about that, but it is nice to be like, oh yeah, sometimes they split up and do different things. Like Michelangelo and Leonardo are teaming up right now to go, you know, get some groceries.
I mean, somebody's got to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, like they like, it's kind of neat when they show like some of these like quote unquote mundane kind of events, but nothing's mundane when you're a Ninja Turtle, apparently.
I guess not.
Well, I took it as, Shredder's gone now, quote unquote. So they kind of don't have much to do other than just clean up the local street toughs, They were just kind of out chilling, and
I guess
so happened. Yeah.
They're just doing it kind of like Batman style for now.
Yeah. Just
Right. Well, even more like they just happened upon, a robbery. The thugs just happened to come into the store that they were in. Otherwise, they probably would have just been chilling and getting their groceries,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And really, after the events of season 1, they were now exposed to the public. And so now, and like they're willing to like intervene in terms of like, because we had those like existential moments throughout the last season where they're like, why has it got to be us? And they've resolved, like, almost not like resigned themselves, but like, no, they are the good guys, and like if they see something happening on the surface, they're going to get involved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Quick kind of overarching thing, and the three of us kind of mentioned this amongst ourselves briefly before the episode started, but as we'll see as we kind of go through this, this is I think we agreed the most unintentionally funny episode so far, right? Like there's a lot of just weird, funny, like dumb things that happen.
Oh, straight up.
Sure.
Like I think it's like not. It's definitely unintentionally funny. Like just comes off that way, or somebody was writing this for the parents or the adults at the time.
Maybe so.
That's like, because this is stuff that like no kid would pick up on or wouldn't think it's like that funny, or for the right reason,
Uh-huh.
No, I definitely agree that this one's. What would we say? We were laughing at this one, not with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed it or agree with it or whatever, but I felt like Leo was much more present in this episode. More dialogue, more personality, everything. I noticed that.
I did
throughout the episode.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't catch that, but I'm sure I will by the time.
Even at the end, especially at the end, for some reason, like it stuck out. Like when they have this moment at the end, and like even he chimes in. I was just like, wow, even Leo. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do know what you're talking about. I was a little bit surprised by that. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, no, in this scene, I was trying to listen, but I couldn't like catch like the items that they're going through, except that I'm sure that they're polar opposites between Leo and Mike in terms of like what they're grabbing.
And one of them grabbed wheat germ.
I was about to. That's the one that I caught. Yeah. One of them grabbed wheat germ.
I mean, maybe they're making pizza. Isn't that like something you need, or is like, I don't know.
Don't know.
I'm assuming that was probably that must have been Leonardo, right?
It was.
It was okay.
Yeah, he's got to be like the alfalfa sprouts and crap. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that it's probably the ingredients for a pizza. Yeah, duh. I thought they were just shopping and babbling. Huh.
Yeah. Now that you say wheat germ, I was just like, I don't know how to make pizza dough, but I mean, you could probably use wheat germ, maybe. I don't know.
The heck is wheat germ? I don't even know what it is. I've heard of it, but
yeah,
it's kind of like some little.
Is it like yeast?
If I remember correctly, I feel like I've bought it once for something. It's kind of like dusty, little like shaky, dusty stuff. Kind of like
shaky, dusty stuff.
It's like if germs were like actually visible. Like this is what they look like.
Pretty.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. This is it. Here, let me show you. I just pulled up I'll share it with you guys on Discord, and I forgot what it. I don't know what you use it for. I have no idea what we bought it for. It was an ingredient. Yeah, kind of like, honestly, kind of like sawdust. Like we mixed it in something for something. I don't know what it was.
Oh, it's like some sort of supplement, kind of like a protein.
Does it have a taste?
I don't really remember. If it does, it's something very, very bland. Kind of like wheat-ish.
I'll pass. I'll stick with whatever Michelangelo's grabbing. I'm grabbing that.
Leo kind of gets on him about already having peanut butter and jelly pizza the night before, and Michelangelo corrects him and says, "No, it was chocolate chips and caramel fudge." So there you go.
Yeah, I love how he's like he rebuffs him like it's with like such like almost disgust. He's like, "No way, man. Who's this?
Right. I wouldn't eat that. It was this instead, which is much better, more normal.
Yeah, duh.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
So I have a quick question actually about the pizza thing. Obviously, as we mentioned a minute ago, this puts us over, and we'll figure out at the end of the episode which one of these we're going to eat. But do we count it? And this hasn't happened yet. But if they're like, "Oh, give me a cheese pizza," does that count for our list as one of the potential pizzas that we would get? Like, we might just get to eat a regular pizza one day, or are we only going with?
Every time they mention a flavor, even if it's just cheese, it's going on the list.
Perfect.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll be great if the wheel of freaking morality landed on a cheese pizza. That would be great.
Yeah, the wheel of pizzality.
I love it.
But yeah, man, I mean, I'm not even a fan of cheese pizza, but I'll take that over sashimi. I see that on this. So, like, yeah, or anchovies and peanut. Oh, oof. Okay.
Your fate shall be determined today, young man.
Yeah. TikTok. Also, like when these thugs are like, like robbing the cashier and they're getting all aggressive, she's like got the balls to be a smart ass and she's like paper or plastic. I was like, oh my gosh.
Don't hoit me. Hoit. Twiddles.
That's pretty funny.
Whatchamacallit. Then at that point, I think the turtles see what's going on and they intervene and they like strip down, they go into turtle mode.
Yeah, because we didn't mention they're in their classic like incognito
Trench
outfit,
coats.
which is just trench coats and hats.
Yeah. And like for some reason, Leo was wearing an extra layer. He had like a shirt on.
I did peep that. Yeah.
I was like, what is he wearing? Like, what?
Like an undershirt or something.
Yeah, I was like, he's trying to like get like all like snazzed up. I was like, cool.
Maybe he just doesn't want to sweat out his trench coat,
Maybe it's cold. I don't know. I mean, they're cold blooded.
Maybe.
So I got two things about this scene. First of all, in the mayhem, the melee, you see Michelangelo corner a guy in front of some bottles or whatever, cans of orange juice or whatever it was. Michelangelo is standing like 10 feet, maybe 12 feet from this guy and the cans. And he pulls a Superman super breath and just blows on the cans from that far away and they just fall over. I mean, this is impressive. It's impressive and it adds to the superpoweredness of these turtles.
Yeah, every once in a while they just get actual super.
Oh yeah, this episode I'm convinced like half these motherfuckers have powers at this point in this show. Like the things I was seeing, I was just like,
and what? One non-turtle as well.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Half the people in this show like have powers at this point. Almost like everybody was doing something crazy.
Yeah.
But
the second thing in this particular scene that kind of had me scratching my head, and it actually made me do kind of not a deep dive, but maybe a shallow dive. I noticed that there were eggs on display that Leonardo slashes and covers one of the thugs in, but they were just out on the floor on a display, not refrigerated. And I'm thinking to myself, don't you have to refrigerate eggs? I thought about, okay, well, this was the 80s, 88 to be specific. Back then, did they not refrigerate eggs back then? Maybe that was a thing. So
maybe not, because I don't think you don't have to refrigerate eggs. So
there was a outbreak of frequent salmonella cases throughout just the entire world, America, overseas, and everywhere, in the late 80s. And that ended up bringing on a requirement passed by law that eggs have to be refrigerated at 40 degrees or below.
Holy snap.
So maybe this was during a time where that wasn't quite put into effect yet.
What? Maybe you do need to refrigerate eggs then.
Well,
I didn't know this.
From what I understand, from my minimal egg knowledge, is that once they're pasteurized, eggs. Wow, nice. Once they're, I think, not pasteurized, but once they go through some sort of process, they have to be, because they've lost like their natural like barrier to like germs or whatever. They have to be refrigerated. But if you just have them like straight farm to table or like, like just out of the chicken, you can keep them on your counter. Like that's why you'll see sometimes like places like or like in like a cookbook or like in some sort of image, you'll just see like a little basket of eggs like on the thing. It's not just because they look pretty, but that's like how they actually have them.
Interesting.
All right. Okay.
Cool.
I learned something.
I mean, don't like start leaving your shit out on the counter and get sick. That's not on me. But so yeah, the turtles easily dispatch these guys, and then like they hear the boys in blue, as they call them, rolling up. And they do this motion like where both of them like jump into the air and like pounce on the bad guys, and like they have their weapons drawn and everything else. It's like, whoa, are they going like in for like some like badass like finishing move? But no, they just go and they get this banner and wrap them up, and they're like, oh, like gift wrapped or whatever, and then they bounce and they get all their groceries on the house because the lady says like, oh, you saved my life. They got a whole grocery cart full of free shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times he said it. I'm sure it's been several times at this point, but I caught it. It was Mike is saying "cowabunga."
Yes.
he rides his like shopping cart full of groceries away. It's so cool.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Whenever there's groceries, in cartoons how they have always there's like a baguette and this long sausage sticking out of a bag.
Yeah. Oh my god,
salami or something. Yeah,
exactly. And one flies out of the cart when Michelangelo's on it. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Of course, stereotypical.
That's great. So then we get to see Dimension X for the second time. Still looks pretty hellish.
Yeah.
And as usual,
oh boy,
it's the Shredder and Krang show.
Krang and Shredder are bickering.
Shredder implores, like, what kid is going to know what that word means?
Yeah, I implore you to send me back to Earth.
Yeah.
Krang's response is classic. He just completely mocks Shredder. He goes, send me back. I'm tired of your relentless whining.
I'm sending you back. Like, the more you watch this, it's like, wow, man, Krang's a dick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it's funny, Shredder's like, okay, and like, really? And then he just takes off running through the portal.
Freedom.
Here, I'm going to put something in the Discord for you all.
Is this from this episode?
Yes. Look at the back of Krang.
What?
On his butt. Everybody, this is at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Somebody tell me why there's a port right on the man's butthole.
Wow. So you can literally have a butt plug.
That.
All right. That, and also, does Rocksteady have a wooden sword strapped to his back?
Oh, I didn't catch that.
What's he playing? Like, wow, is he like one of the Lost Boys? Like, this is amazing.
Wow. I never noticed that.
Nearby. That's so ridiculous.
Me either until just right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like a sheath. That's actually wood because it's cracked at the very tip.
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
Wow.
Wow, Shredder is really just on his own.
I love how he's got all this army stuff and then he's just got a wooden sword.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Grenades.
That's great.
Bullet belt, wooden sword.
Best screenshot we've had so far.
It's like, what is wrong with this picture?
Several things.
So yeah, Shredder gets his wish. He gets his way out of Dimension X.
Uh-huh.
And he's not the only one that apparently wants to get the hell out of there, but he is the only one that does get out of there, as Bebop and Rocksteady quickly find out. To the joy of Krang, who's a complete sadist. He's just like, oh, you're
this part is great.
He's like, you humans and animals, I both enjoy watching them suffer. Like, and you're both.
Oh.
Yeah, and you're both. He says that to Bebop and Rocksteady because they tried to run through the portal too, but he shuts it off, and so they just like smash into it and bounce off. And that's when he says that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, they're like, what gives?
Jeez, this really got sadistic all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like somehow season 2 got better but darker. Like maybe there's a correlation, but
that was like that was kind of a surprising quote. Obviously he's a bad guy, but like we haven't gotten any straight up just like
evil.
I like seeing people suffer quotes yet.
And then like he gives him like, and I noticed it in the last season, but I never said anything. but like this ridiculous communicator in the shape of a foot.
Dude, this thing. Okay, so when have we seen this?
There's been a couple episodes like last season where we've seen it, or I saw it.
Okay, I couldn't remember if when I was watching this, I couldn't remember if we had seen it yet.
Same.
But we have.
Yeah, I've seen it because I was like, man, that thing is stupid as shit. And it's just because it's like the Turtles one is cool. It's like a clamshell. It's a turtle communicator. It's the turtle shell. It's tight. Makes sense. This is a foot.
Is it? Okay. First off, I don't know if I ever noticed it's foot shaped.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Foot Clan's like wonky foot logo.
Also, it's pretty impressive that he has a device, that Krang has a device that can communicate across dimensions.
It's fair. Yes.
Like, that's probably the most technologically advanced thing they have yet. Like, at least the Technodrome makes a portal to go one way or the other, but this one just straight up, it doesn't even need a portal. It just somehow sends radio waves or something from one dimension to another.
Wow, never thought about that.
And it almost makes you wonder, like, why can't they just easily just waste the turtles? Like, they're ninjas. Like, they're using like 18th century, 19th century like tech. Like,
it's all because Rocksteady has a wooden sword. That's their downfall.
Yeah, Rocksteady.
Okay, catch the Channel 6 where Burns telling April she's got to do this report on the turtles and to talk about how they're bad and stuff. And then like
this was like actually annoyed me throughout the whole episode.
So the question is kind of like, why? What's he got against the turtles? Like, why does he want them? Why does he want everybody to think they're bad guys? And then this girl, which I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be a wife or a girlfriend, but I think it's supposed to be a girlfriend.
I think it's like a side piece. Like,
yeah.
You think it's like, so you think he's married?
I think he's married because there are definitely some things in this episode that allude to this not being on the up and up.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's just call her horseshit. Like, this is blonde bimbo with this shrieky ass voice.
And she comes out and she's talking about like, Bernie Werney, like, this and that, and talk about how she's scared of, or she's not scared of turtles, but she just hates turtles because something happened when she was little
with her brother.
I forgot what it was. Yeah, with her brother, and she got scared by him, and so she hates turtles, and so he's like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, babe. So now we're gonna do stories on why the Ninja Turtles are so bad. And
Vernon like completely sells out like April, like totally is like scab moment.
Immediately.
He's like, because Burns like, oh, if you won't do it, then he will. He's just like, oh yeah, totally. And April's like, what the fuck? Like,
there's a very strange quote that I could not figure out what this was supposed to mean.
Tell me,
but
it's the secretary. What's her name?
Irma, which this is her debut episode, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It's the Bigfoot one.
Yes, dude, I even wrote that down. I was like, what the hell does this mean? Like, is she trying to like bang Bigfoot?
Yeah, so it's when they're arguing about April doing a story or not, and April's like says, I'll do anything pretty much. I'll do an interview with Bigfoot if you wanted me to. So it was Irma that said this?
Irma,
I actually, okay.
New receptionist, yeah.
Irma says, if you do, we're talking about like if you do have an interview with Bigfoot, if you do, find out if he's married.
This woman has asked the youth say down bad. Is that how you use that phrase? I
don't know I've never heard that phrase, but probably, yeah.
I was going to say thirsty. Yeah. And I even have like question marks like next to this because I'm like.
That's pretty much what I wrote down too. Just like some question marks like, what, Irma?
Yeah. I was like, just keep walking, April.
It's a lonely woman.
And then, like, did anyone notice that Byrne is the president of the channel? So he's not even like that chief editor or something. He's like the president.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? I missed it.
Yeah. I saw that plaque on his door. And the girl's name is Tiffany, by the way.
Tiffany, that's right.
Oh, I didn't even know she had a name.
She did, but I was just like, this girl is just rubbing me wrong. And it's like, she's actually their biggest antagonist in this whole episode.
Kinda, yeah.
It's like they can get rid of, like, they can deal with the Shredder, they can deal with Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady, but like this like politically motivated like smear campaign. No.
Right.
Things men will do for the love of a woman.
Yeah, and Burns an idiot. He's also a piece of shit, considering like if this is actually him, having an affair.
I mean, all signs point to it.
Yeah, right. I'm really interested to see if we find out later if he's married or something. That's really going to be genuinely hilarious.
I just remember there being a picture of somebody on his desk previously, and then like later in this episode, there's like some sketchiness. So
I do remember that. I wonder if it was this. I wonder if it was a picture of her.
I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah. So we get a kind of interesting little scene after this where they're at the turtles' hideout, and they're basically just sitting around eating pizzas,
talking about kicking ass.
And Donatello starts kind of just kind of wondering out loud. He says, "It's kind of weird, if it wasn't for Shredder, we'd still be 4 tiny pet turtles," which is kind of like interesting that they're still bringing this up. Shredder kind of mentioned this. I think it was the second episode where he's like, I made you what you are. And now it's like, evidently that's kind of gotten into Donatello's head, I guess is sort of the implication here. Did y'all think anything about that? Or am I just making something out of nothing? I was surprised that they were bringing it up and still kind of just like considering this in any way, as opposed to just like, who cares?
I mean,
this is what happened. This is how it is.
I'll agree that I was a little surprised too, but like, remember, like Donatello was also one that had the crisis where he was like wondering why us, like these people hate us and all this stuff. So he's going to be the one. I think the philosopher. He's going to be the one that waxes on this kind of stuff the most.
Well, that alone is a pretty neat detail then.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they actually focus on being him the one that comes up with like these thoughts, like where is this like, philosophizing these revelations or whatnot. Like, if they make that consistent, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And then wasn't this where they had one of the first major errors in the episode?
Yes. Mike?
Yeah. 626. And the word used earlier was blatant, and that is absolutely correct. Huge, blatant, big old close-up of Raphael straight up talking as Leo.
And it's so drawn out, too. It's not just like a quick quip or something like that. He's got some dialogue.
Yeah, he's got some lines. Not even like you can mistake it because it's like maybe sarcastic or like a quip or something. Like, no, it's like, no, this is a Leo moment in Raphael's body.
It's 100% Leonardo's voice. Yeah.
But think about that. I really would like to know, how would they miss that? And for such a blatant and obvious mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't really think there's going to be any hope of it slowing down here. So
no.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious though. I love it.
It is. It's pretty good. And then you all want to talk about the Splinter thing that happens next? Because this was a little bit
weird too.
Out of left field.
Yeah, like he, for some reason, like, so they're sitting there, talking and having their moment, eating their pizza, and then all of a sudden Splinter like cries out each one of their names. He could have said turtles.
That alone was really, that's not even the main thing, but yeah, I wrote that down too. That was odd that he's not just like, everybody come here. He individually yells out their names. Yeah.
It's like the audience needed to be reminded who they were, like which action figure to go buy. Like,
did you all catch when they got up and ran away from the table? They tossed their pizzas up in there, and they all landed in a perfect stack in the middle of the table.
Oh, that's right.
Perfectly
I
aligned.
can picture that. I can picture that in my head now that you say that. Yeah, I do actually remember that. Yeah, like a stack of pancakes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's sweet. So what's this? What were you gonna talk about in terms of like the Splinter moment? If it wasn't the,
I was thinking of how he was meditating and just had a premonition, and he could just tell that Shredder came back.
That's pretty heavy. He's like sitting there and he's just like astral projects, like he's like you said, meditating, and has this premonition, and he even like says like my lifelong foe, and like he gets in there pretty deep, and he's just like. Donatello, I think, is the one that says, like, no way he's coming back. He's in we saw him get sucked into Dimension X. And Splinter goes, like, an evil that powerful it's not, like, so easily defeated. And I'm like, wow, you're getting, like, laying it on there pretty thick, Splinter. ancient foe, like lifelong foe, evil. I'm like, all right. I mean, he's just a dude in a dojo, but okay.
Yeah. But so Splinter has the ability to just sense things, and actually that's going to come into play a couple episodes from now too. I don't remember exactly when, but not too long. There's another episode where he kind of does the same like psychic reading type thing.
Okay.
Not psychic reading, but like psychic abilities.
Wow. All right. So yeah, after that, then it gets back to Shredder, and he's I'm guessing in Central Park. He that's where he appears, and he's got like almost like a brief moment of amnesia or something, because he's just like he's like, where am I or something. He's like kind of like almost like maybe just confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, disoriented.
Yeah, disoriented because I guess traveling through dimensions will do that. But he just happens to show up next to like two thugs that are like looking to like jack people or mug them, and they go and they decide it's a good idea to mug the guy with like razor blades on his armor and a mask
that just came through a portal in the middle of nowhere. Thin air.
Yeah, let's rob this guy.
Yeah, so I'm not really, I don't really feel bad for what happens to him.
No. What about them moves?
The moves are so funny because you're like, oh, Splinter's going to take these guys on. But instead of fighting them directly, he backflips onto a tree branch, then chops it with his bare hand into where the giant tree limb falls on him.
I mean, don't mess with Shredder. Like, he's like, yeah, this dude's like, he means business. And he's like back with revenge. He's got purpose.
Mm-hmm.
These fools just give all the money they jacked.
Yeah, they throw all their money at him and run away.
Yeah, he's just like, you said something about money. Yeah, we don't. If you don't have any, you can have ours. Like, just like make it rain. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was like, man, Shredder's out here kicking ass.
Yeah, that backflip was amazing. From the ground all the way up on the thin tree branch. Backflip behind him. Great.
Yeah, it was good.
And then from there, he keeps rolling because from there, he goes on over to like Slash for Cash or some like jacked up name for
Slash
a dojo.
for Cash Dojo, yeah.
And he goes in there, and this guy's like berating his students, telling them how they suck. And Shredder's goes, and like I was actually surprised. It's just like the students are like a reflection of the master, and the guy gets all butthurt, of course. And Shredder just is like, "This is my dojo now," and he like chops this damn like punching bag into like 3 pieces, like using his like blades, wrist blades.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have written down that he just walks in and takes over the place like a complete boss.
Yes.
Oh yeah, just straight up like emasculates this guy, and this is my dojo now. I was like, I respected Shredder after this. I was like,
yeah.
I ended up reading up on this too. I don't think it's in practice anymore, but a rival dojo, they would decide that they want to either take over the other dojo or absorb their students or steal their students into their own dojo. And they would basically come in, just like Shredder did, claiming this is mine now. And they would have one of their champions or their best students or leader or whatever challenge one of the other dojo's students. And whoever won would basically take over the dojo. And I just think that it's kind of a cool plot point here that they included that. They include a lot of Japanese culture stuff, things of that nature. I just think this is kind of a cool touch.
that's awesome.
The students become formidable and they're well trained and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. That was kind of a cool move. I thought that made Shredder, like you said, look pretty cool. That was kind of nice.
Because he goes, and like I can totally like they actually the students actually become, like you said, formidable because they're getting they're first getting trained by this like jagoff that like doesn't know shit, and now they're actually getting trained by like a badass ninja master,
right?
Who can like fight like the turtles. A day with Shredder is going to be way better than like 2 months with this like strip mall guy.
Yeah, keep in mind, Shredder was hand selected to be the guy to help take over the entire universe.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
This is correct.
And before that, he ran the Foot Clan. So.
Yeah, after he screwed Splinter over.
Yeah. He really is like pretty awesome. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his moments 100%.
Yeah, and it really is like him, like doing it all himself, as he always likes to remind everybody. He's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Two people who don't think Shredder is all that cool, Bebop and Rocksteady. Before they got to the dojo, they went back to the Technodrome, the scene in the Technodrome, where we basically have Shredder getting kind of piled on by Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady. You know, Krang is basically telling them, until you get your junk together, these two will stand here with me.
Oh, he's like, you don't get no more tech.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're not getting any support. And as Krang is saying that, you see Bebop and Rocksteady on either side of him nodding in agreement. Like they kind of changed allegiances real quick. So yeah, they're not, we see that they aren't quite at the 100% loyal subject level that they later on become, because later on they're obviously Shredder's little,
minions,
snoveling, groveling little, minions, exactly. But they're not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shredder had to bust some ass apparently at some point, because right now they still got some lip in them. It's just like, all right.
Right.
Shredder's like, I don't remember this. Like, I can't deal with Krang, but I'll definitely deal with you two. But yeah, no, then it's I think it cuts back to Channel 6, and April's getting sweated by her boss, Byrne, to write like a smear, like the yellow journalism smear campaign about the turtles, because his girlfriend Tiffany is like hates the turtles or for whatever reason, and so he's like laying it on her. Shredder debuts the what are they famously called, the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang?
Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang.
And also, the plan to take them out, Shredder has the most ridiculous / uncreative name for it: Operation Turtle Destruction.
Yes, I heard that, and I was just like,
I didn't catch that.
I was like, all right, not very original, but okay. And like, for some reason, people are actually fooled by this like Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
yeah,
I was like, these guys are wearing like paper bags painted green on their heads.
Yeah, they've actually just wearing bags on their heads.
But I mean, like, I won't deny that they have been trained well, because the big one at least is able to like open giant like jewelry safes with a kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just jump kicks the safe
and it blows open.
It busts open. Is that what you were talking about earlier, Mike, with the non-turtle with superhuman powers?
This isn't the one, but this is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another funny thing he does is he karate chops a cash register, and it flies open and cash flies out.
Because that's how that works.
Yeah.
And like, he always is like, oh, we're the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang. Here's our card. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you tell everybody the turtle part.
Yeah. And it's like their numbers on there. I'm like, what gang does this? Yes, the 1-800, of course.
555-3232.
Nice.
I made that my Instagram profile picture. I love it so much.
That
Which
is
part?
awesome.
Which
The
one?
Crooked Ninja
The crooked
business card.
This little card, yeah. That's great.
And so Shredder's like proud of this concept, this idea, and he goes and he reports it to like Krang. And Krang doesn't give Shredder any credit for anything. He's like, you're an idiot. That's going to take forever.
This man can't win.
Yeah, it is really funny because Shredder's like, I've got the best plan. And of course, Krang's like, that's a dumb plan, you idiot.
Yeah. At this point, Shredder's like, it means there's only one thing left I can do. And it cuts to like this insane asylum, which just looks like a house.
Why is Baxter in a padded cell with 2 green easy chairs with a snaggletooth old man who thinks he's Napoleon? What happened? They arrested him and they took him straight to the crazy house?
He thinks he's Napoleon, but he looks exactly like Captain Crunch.
Oh my gosh, that's what he looks like. Yes.
Wonderful. Thanks for that.
Yes.
Now I'm going to be seeing that all the time.
That's what I thought he was supposed to be at first. I was like, why do they have him in? Yes. I was like, that's literally
the French accent.
Dude, I thought that was his crazy thing. Like, oh, this is a crazy guy who thinks he's Captain Crunch, but no, he thinks he's Napoleon.
That'd be so meta for the 80s. That'd be so.
Yeah. I don't think Captain Crunch has a French accent.
No, I don't think he's got the French accent. You're right.
No, I think the foot, like, I think Captain Crunch's like rivals French, but that's about it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but why did they deem Baxter crazy?
Probably because he was talking about like giant rats and turtles and shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I was always wondering, like, does he go to prison? Does he go to jail? And like, they didn't really clarify that in the last season. They just said like, April's just like, no, he's like gone. We won't be hearing from him for a while. And so like, let's go steal all that shit.
What was the last thing we actually saw happen to him?
I think he was on the stoop of a building, or like he was tied to a light pole.
He was tied to the light pole, and then they like, they interrogated him or whatever. Yeah, and that was the last thing that we saw, wasn't it?
That I want to say I saw him get taken away in handcuffs, but I'm not sure.
So we don't know. So I guess the idea is he's just kind of a mad genius who people think is crazy. Yeah, because of talking about turtles and this and that. Yeah, I guess that's the best explanation.
See, I know he becomes a bad guy, and I know he earns his hate as a bad guy. But so far, think about his goal. This man ain't talked about nothing but cleaning up filthy New York City of its rat problem. He wants to eradicate all of the rats in the city. That's a pretty nice goal. I mean, what's wrong with that? Let the man function.
I mean, he just needed to tweak his concept because it was a little destructive.
A little bit, yeah.
But I can appreciate where he was coming from, because he's trying to just like, get rid of the rat problem. Whereas all the exterminators were like, you'll put us out of business. We just got to keep the rat problem going. So now it's just like, he's like fighting the man, but
yeah.
And then like in this episode, in my opinion, you can actually see where the dude becomes crazy.
Yes. He loses it.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, I'm like, oh man, we're watching. He was normal dude before. Now, like, the system made him crazy. That's just
the system made him crazy.
The system failed him. Like wow, it's like we didn't rehab him. We made him worse. This is bad. This is like, now we're like on some social commentary. Yeah, he's sitting in there with like Napoleon, and Shredder like pops up and like pries open steel bars.
He just bends open the bars with his hands.
So if he can do it, and he's not mutated, he's just a really strong like Japanese guy. How come Bebop and Rocksteady couldn't open that cage back in episode 1?
We're still going back to that.
This is the point. This
That's a good point.
This is your super non-turtle superhuman, I'm guessing, Mike?
Nope, this still ain't it. But this is one of them.
Wow. See? Yes. Okay, what did I say? Like half this damn cast now is superhuman.
Exactly, man.
Because Shredder's over here prying bars like the strong man.
I think Shredder has been like micro-dosing with mutagen.
Sampling the product.
Maybe it's like a Dragon Ball thing where he's like been in like subjected to like extra gravity, so he's like trained harder.
Yeah. That's why he can jump backflip onto trees.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So he like breaks Baxter out of the joint, and he's like the sniveling like, oh, like, I'm sorry, Master Shredder. Like he calls him Master. Damn, dude, like you broke easy. Like
right.
Like you don't even know this guy. Like you don't know him shit. Now he's just like, Master. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I failed you. He's just like, quit your sniveling, come with me. And like jumps out of the building with him. Freaking Napoleon's like losing his shit. He's just like, oh, the peasants are revolting.
Yeah.
What is going on in this scene?
I'm telling you, man, this episode was wild.
Yeah, this one was off the chain. Yeah, for sure. Baxter is definitely losing his mind because he's even telling Napoleon before Shredder shows up about like, oh yeah, and there's this giant rat and like these turtles and like all this stuff. And Napoleon's like, and people think I'm crazy. But after that one, I think it cuts to April.
Yep.
Once again, like, being sweated to like sees a story, an upcoming story. I think because Vernon was like totally like, oh, like look at those guys, they just robbed that place. Like, let's go run this story. And then Vernon's gonna run the story at 11 o'clock. And so April is like, oh, I got to tell the turtles what's up. She calls looking for Leo, but she gets Donatello. And did anybody notice that their communicators changed?
Yep.
Yeah.
So instead of being like the flip phones, now they're like the slides.
Yep.
I kind of like the flip phone more. Just saying. The clamshell.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think I like the slide ones better.
With the little prongs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which one do you like, Mike? You're the deal. You're the
I never
tiebreaker.
even paid attention to it, to be honest with you. I feel like the prior one looked cooler because it actually had the colors on it. And was this one colored? Did it have like the shell color and the green on it?
I think
the shell was colored.
Okay.
I think it was, but I don't think April's was.
April still had the clamshell.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she had the old model. She didn't get upgraded yet.
I think that's the one I like.
Yeah, it'd be like going from the Razor to an iPhone.
Yeah.
I had one of them razors.
I did too. I love that phone. So yeah, she hits up Donatello, gives him a heads up, and I forget, how do they react to this news? Like,
do we see their reaction, or do we just see the next
see.
thing?
Oh, they're flying the blimp.
Yes.
Yes, and I think we all have some questions about what happens next.
Why don't you lead us into that?
Yeah, Robert.
You want me to do it? Okay. So they fly up to go. So they're like, all right, April will be there in a second. And they fly up in the turtle, which is kind of funny that they like take out the blimp just to go to her office.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't just driven. They take the blimp to her office, and this is at night, which will come in play later.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was this her office? I thought this was a hotel. No?
No, this is
No, it's her
Channel
office.
6, yeah.
Okay. My bad.
And the blimp basically pulls up, and they kind of just like hover there. And so what they eventually do is throw a grappling hook, and they ride the grappling hook from the blimp into the window of her office. But
Here it is.
They exit from the actual balloon of the blimp.
Oh, not the glider?
No. So we've seen the glider detach before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even catch this.
The thing that the room in the balloon?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, go back. This is so weird. So we've seen the glider detach from the blimp, and we were all like, okay, so I guess the blimp is kind of like
Vessel.
the main vessel, and then it detaches for more kind of like tactical stuff or whatever. But no, this time they fly up. The balloon itself opens up. They open up a door from the balloon part, and they're all kind of like in a little room in there. And that's evidently where they rode in the blimp. And then they toss the grappling hook in and then slide down it to get in there. But so what's the balloon do? Is it a balloon? And if so, how are they hanging out inside of it?
Holy crap, that is awesome. I'm looking at it, and yeah, they're like, there's this like this side panel. Wow.
I don't understand the physics of the turtle blimp anymore.
Anymore.
I was already a little bit questioning about it, but now I really that threw me for a complete loop.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm still wondering where this thing like takes off from.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the little. I see it now in the Discord.
Yeah, see, there's a door in the side of the blimp.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
So,
that's pretty awesome, but what?
Interesting. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, but I have no idea
Where's
how
the
it's supposed
air?
to work.
That's not what I thought you were about to say, though.
Were you going to talk about the color situation?
No.
No? Okay, you go on. What were you
I might have missed the color situation.
I don't think you probably missed this one.
Okay, yeah.
This one's bad.
Well, with the grappling hook. Now, they throw a grappling hook into the window to April O'Neil, a human. She keeps this grappling hook taut as 4 huge turtles grapple down it.
Was she holding it?
She held it by herself. This is the superhuman thing that I'm talking about, because this struck me out of all of them. This woman is holding this grappling hook while 4 large, heavy, muscular, mutant turtles grapple down it with all their weight. April has been on the juice.
Yeah, I was just like, damn.
I guess so.
I saw that too.
And then when the scene ends, they simply just jump out of the window into the blimp. Why didn't they do that in the first place?
Yeah. I love how they can just set it on like autopilot hover mode and it'll just stay right
chills there. Yep.
Chills, yeah.
Donnie is a marvel.
Yeah, he's like straight up genius. Like But like, didn't they? I could have swore like they might have said something like anchor it or like they threw the grappling hook in there and like it just was like I thought she was gonna do something like tie it off somewhere.
No, they told her to that she just held it. That was her anchoring it.
They did tell her to, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. She's like, no, I got this. I'm like, what? Like,
April ain't no joke.
That's awesome.
Like, that's not how this works. Yeah. No. So that's the third human.
Is that 3?
In this episode?
Third superhuman human.
Yeah, no, just the color scene. I'm surprised you didn't catch this one.
Yeah, what is it?
So basically,
it's the worst one yet by far.
Yeah, I just posted it in the Discord, but yeah, no, the turtles are like walking, like following April, like so they can go watch like the television.
Oh,
and you can literally see them walking. They're all normal, like it's all normal colors. And then at some point, Raphael turns into Leonardo. Like you just watch it happen live. You're like, wait.
Yeah, exactly. He's correctly colored, and then just all of a sudden he's not. And it stays like it's not. There's
just no cutaway.
Yeah, it's for like a few seconds. It's not just for like 1 or 2 frames, like somehow it is.
I did not catch this.
Even his knee pads and stuff turned blue.
Completely blue. What? It's hilarious.
He just has size. It's like,
oh god,
it really is a funny. If you like, just looking at this, it's something about it is genuinely funny looking. Like because it's just so wrong, I guess.
Well, for the listeners, this is at 13 minutes and 57 seconds, and you know why I didn't catch that? Because I was so busy looking at Donatello. The face, the way they drew his face. Like, what's wrong with this man?
And his whole kind of like posture too.
He's like having a moment.
Yeah. So I was too busy cracking up at that. I did not even notice that. Wow. This episode, man.
So all over the place. I was even just noticing that like as soon as like April grabs the rope to anchor it, like Michelangelo's already there. Like so he was basically free falling. Until she grabbed it. Like they were all gonna die in a second. But
you know what? In these people's defense, I'm sure they never expected 3 grown fools sitting up dissecting these episodes of a children's cartoon on a podcast.
So that it's at this point where we the turtles discern their origin of their evil counterparts.
Yeah, and that alone is a pretty funny part.
They're like, they realize like, oh, like look at this, like that style, I recognize it. And it's like, I think it's in between Leo and Donatello, and they're trying to figure out, and it's like Donatello's like, oh yeah, there's only 2 people in the world that like could teach them that.
Yeah, it was him jump kicking a door.
Yeah. It's like, doesn't that look familiar? Like, yeah, we do it every day. But yeah. It's so they come to the conclusion that it's not their master Splinter, it's obviously the Shredder that has created this gang of fake Ninja Turtles. But unfortunately, their revelation is short-lived because Burn comes out they hear Burn's girlfriend screeching, and they have to like hightail it out of there, and April has to cover for him.
Raph says it's a sonic death ray.
That's about right.
Yeah, and they come out and they ask April like, no, they saw the turtles leaving, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Like they did see them. Okay, and they said like, what were they doing here? And April goes, what were you doing here? Like to
there it is.
Burn and his girl.
And then she's like, she's like, tell him, Burn.
And he stammers.
He's like, yeah, it don't matter.
This man having an affair.
That part was kind of surprising. I can't they really kind of went. They just kind of went there.
Mm-hmm. What were they doing in that office?
Mm-hmm. I wonder what little kids. Yeah, what do you think little kids thought about this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, who wrote this? Like, who is this episode for? Like, was this like a gimme for the adults, just so like you can get your kids to watch it, like, or let them watch it? Like, yeah, like, yeah. What's a little kid gonna think? He's not gonna understand what the hell's going on. He's not even interested in those characters. They're not even turtles.
Exactly. That's it right there.
Yeah, humans, yeah. That's a good point. Kid probably doesn't.
Like, he's zoned out at that point.
Don't give a shit.
What are the turtles doing? I want to see the turtles again.
Yeah, they got a turtle, man. Mommy, I want that for my birthday. And it's just like, you think anybody's asking for this fat ass and his tart? No.
Tart, wow. That's a...
Do you think... Burton must have a lot of money, I guess, right?
That's what, yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason.
He ain't got shit else going for him.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Dang.
I don't think she's with him for his personality, is all I'm saying.
Or his looks. Wow, that's pretty cruel, man.
Or anything like that, yeah.
Or his ability to run a news station.
Yeah.
All right, what we got next?
Yeah, what's next?
Oh, the turtles like hightail it out, and then it cuts to like Splinter chilling like over his Splinter. Yeah, and it's like extremely violent contraption like burrows through the walls,
just blows through the wall.
It's like, and it's Baxter like going completely insane.
Yeah, at this point he is pretty much lost.
He's going, and he like traps Splinter, and like I swear, like it looks like one of these blades is like straight up in Splinter's neck. Like this dude is like done.
Once again, though, this man is captured with such ease. As he's running, he just gives up and lets the thing catch him. And while he's in there, and once again, also, he just gives up on life. He's like, there seems there's no way out.
He's like another meet our ancestors moment. Yeah, so now they got Splinter, and this is like the turtles come home and see what's going on, and they're like, oh no, like, you know, something's coming, like taking Splinter. And to me, I don't know why, but I got hung up on this part in the sense that they draw their weapons and they run down this like tunnel, and I was like, so how long were they running down this tunnel before they realized like maybe we should just put our weapons away? Like, wow, because it's like they're running into battle, but it's like there's nobody in there.
They jumped the gun. They jumped the gun a little bit on unsheathing.
And then, but eventually, you know, they pop out and like they end up in like some like destroyed junkyard lot kind of place. And this barefooted dude that's like the leader of the corrupt gang is there to greet him with his gang. And they come out with like kind of like janky versions almost of like the turtles. Mm-hmm. And they throw down, and it's like a no contest. Like the turtles like wipe the floor with these guys. It's like one of the first things I noticed was like I saw Leo do like this flip onto like a couch and then like slash it open. What's he doing here? Mm-hmm. These guys like get themselves stuck like in the springs.
Yeah,
I had the same exact like thought process. I was like, what? Because he just slices the couch. I'm like, huh? And then it's like the most convoluted way that he could have possibly caught the bad guys.
Like everybody else's way makes sense. You know, typical tropes, you know, like a barrel on the head, tires around the arms, you know, stuff like that. Even though I did think it was pretty comical and like pretty crazy how Raphael like gets one dude in the barrel, like rolls him down the hill, and then Michelangelo stands him up and beats him with like nunchucks.
Yeah.
Oh, he killed that man. Yeah, you can clearly see that drum compressed way smaller than the frame of that man in there. He dead.
Oh my god. If he's not dead, he's hurting badly. Mm-hmm. Like
concussed. He's deaf now. Yeah.
Arms are broken. Like Michelangelo just goes down.
Mm-hmm. This whole scene was just all classic cartoon shenanigans. I loved it. It was great.
It's a good fight scene. Like
it was
just fun. It was just like, and just to see them how easily they were able to finally beat somebody like a lesser opponent. Because like I feel like they've had like a lot of like tough guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like they've been getting jacked, and like, even if it's just like Bebop and Rocksteady, like those guys like physically are like outmatched the hell out of them.
Would you all say this is the funniest fight scene we've had so far? The most comical?
Yeah, I think it's the funniest. Like whether it's intentional or not, it's the funniest. Yeah, I like this one. This one made me laugh. Just like the things that happened in it, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Definitely. They end up getting the leader in the end.
Yeah, I thought they were just like beating the hell out of him for a second. The way it's animated.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, wow, like they just got real menacing, and they just jumped this dude, but instead they built like an instant pillory.
This is another example of murder almost being on the horizon. Because what do you do to a person in a pillory?
I mean, you can throw things at them, leave them there, die of exposure,
right?
Cut their head off.
Cut their head off.
Yep.
Because Leo clearly has his swords out and telling the man he's got one chance to come clean. Yeah.
Yeah, hands down, great fight scene. Probably my favorite of the episode. They easily dispatched the corrupt Ninja Turtle gang.
My favorite part about this is what comes immediately after. This is the biggest kick out of this.
It's like made me shake my head if it's the same thing. Because it's like...
It probably is, yeah. When they're asking him, like, okay, where's Shredder or whatever? And he goes, he left a note for you. Is this what...
No. It's the next part.
Okay. And he goes... He left a note for you in it. He like points over at a wall, and there's a giant brick wall with an enormous note.
It's like
on the like covering the whole wall. Yeah, like etched into the wall. That says, what does it even say? It's like, come find me at
if you dare.
Come find me if you dare, or something like that. Yeah.
And this next scene is what got me, and like it was just so silly, and I was like, oh, what the fuck moment, like, because they're like, we dare, and like they all like do a group high five. I'm like, what? Like, like, is this another like Turtles fight with honor moment?
Yes.
Like, yes. It's like, quit, guys. Like, turtle power. That's the stop.
Yeah, turtle power. That's what you say. Turtle power is what you say, guys.
So y'all don't like these little dorky
attempts of like right? A tagline? No, I do not.
I'll have
much fondness of it.
I haven't seen one that I like yet besides the famous ones.
Turtle Power and...
Yeah, Turtle Power is great.
So you don't like Go Green Machines?
No.
No. What was that when they were... When did they say that one? Was that when
they were
fighting the robots?
By the Technodrome. They were by the Technodrome.
Oh, that's right. They were fighting like a bunch of foot soldiers.
Yeah, I think... Yeah.
See, that to me... That's endearing to me. It's that kind of like lovable dorkiness. That's how I see it. That's the kind of stuff that makes me like them and love them even more. These guys aren't totally, completely cool. They're still dorky. They're still awkward teenagers. You know, they still say stupid stuff. They still mess up sometimes. I get why it's lame. It is lame, don't get me wrong. But it's a lovable type of lameness in my eyes. I don't know. I like when they do this stuff.
Isn't it that same kind of lameness that gets them a bunch of shit from the other Turtles, like in that other Turtles Forever movie?
It is. You didn't have to. You didn't have to bring that up.
Every generation of Turtle after this is like, you guys suck.
But they did my Turtles dirty in that movie. I almost turned it off.
Yeah, these are my Turtles too. So I'm ride or die with these fools, as dorky as they can be. But sometimes I'm like, guys, like this ain't helping.
Too much, huh?
So, like, you know, we dare group high five, and it transitions over to, like, I was actually kind of shocked. They're in the dojo. It looks like the slash for cash, and Splinter is like shackled pretty like savagely to this wall. He's like sprawled out.
Yeah.
And Shredder's sitting there doing his like evil master plan speech.
Mm-hmm.
Splinter's like, you don't think your students can beat my students, do you? Those idiots? No, I just trained them like long enough so they can be a distraction. It's like he knew he was creating like cannon fodder.
Right. Leonardo. Shredder, if you dare touch a whisker on his head. This is one of the reasons that I love Leo, because he is so dorky and lame. But when he's trying to be a leader, he tries to be intimidating and, you know, valiant and take charge. But he just always comes off with such dorky lines. And this was a prime example of that.
You're not the tough guy, Leo. I've seen Donatello be tougher than you.
Poor Leo.
And then, like, I think they go to make a move towards Shredder, and he's just like, don't, or I'll like cut this rope, and like, you're not your master, just gets it, you know, kind of thing. But like, to me, I was like, you're gonna cut this damn rope anyway, like, you might as well rum rush this fool.
Have we talked about what's on the other end of the rope yet? Because this was also hilarious.
It was.
No, we have not. Yes.
So it like shows the rope, and it doesn't just back up and like show what the whole thing is. It like the camera, quote camera, kind of like follows the rope for a second, and it kind of like goes off to the side, then goes up to the ceiling, then goes down a little bit, and at the other end is a giant battering ram with a huge fist on the end.
Yeah.
Where did you commission this?
And the idea is he's going to cut it and it's going to like swing and smash Splinter and kill him.
It's like Saw. Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks ridiculous.
It is.
It's like Mr. Claw's hand almost. From like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Like I love the idea that he had extra time to fashion a giant fist to put at the end of this huge thing.
The fact that it was a giant fist in the first place. Like you were saying earlier, all this technology, but he comes up with this giant comical fist.
Some Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote shit. Like,
Exactly. As a way to kill his lifelong enemy.
he's like, you might as well drop an anvil on him. Like at this point, like,
Acme.
yeah.
Oh, it's like the fist, the SmackDown fist from wrestling. They had the big fist that was punching through the set above the Titantron. That's exactly what it reminded me of immediately.
Wow, nice. Yeah, so, Shredder's got his amazing battering ram fist thing. And at this moment, Baxter shows up.
Baxter does his vehicle have a name? I don't think he gives it a name, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He just, and it's crazy because like the inspiration from it like doesn't look anything like what it ended up. Like I thought he was going in a totally different direction.
Oh yeah,
but
right.
whatever. It's like he's got this crazy like mouth like gnashing contraption vehicle, and it's got like all kinds of like crap arms on the side of it doing its own thing. And of course, the turtles like dispatch this thing within like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Get the hell out of here! Like Leo goes for the tires, like those are gone. And then Donatello just like jumps on the side of it and like beats the shit out of all the arms, like easy.
yeah.
And I'm like, this thing's all beat to hell.
And Shredder doesn't help. Shredder doesn't like jump in and do anything. He just,
I think he's like pissed.
I guess he's just standing there. He's like, seriously?
Yeah. Baxter the entire time is like terrified. He's like, oh my, he's like just sitting there like watching these like Ninja Turtles like destroy his machine that he's like inside of.
At one point, I think that it was at this moment, Baxter just yells out, "Talking turtles," and then he does a laugh, and then he says, "Big green talking turtles."
Yes, it was at this moment this man had lost it. Like he had just gone like off.
That was the moment, yeah.
Did he not see the turtles before this point?
I don't know. He had definitely.
No, yeah.
I don't know why he's yelling this out.
Because I think he's gone batshit and he's just like,
I think that's the only explanation.
He's just now like attacking. He's fighting these turtles. He's just like, oh yeah, this is what I do now. Fight giant rats and turtles.
This is what I do now.
Yeah. He's like, I was like a scientist and inventor. Now I work for this guy in a tin mask and fight mutants. Of course, nobody's gonna believe me.
Guess that's why he was in a padded cell.
Exactly. Yeah, with Napoleon, that looked like Captain Crunch. So Baxter gets his ass whooped. He gets like kicked out of his own vehicle, and the turtles are all on it, but they don't know how to drive the thing. And this thing's like half the tires are jacked. The thing's about to explode. It's all janked. So all the turtles bail except Raphael. He's still on there. He's trying to drive it, and I think it's Leo who goes for the move to save Splinter. But before that, what gives him the opportunity is Baxter like jumps to like Splinter's or Shredder's feet. He's just like, save me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he like just picks him up, like puts him over his shoulder like a damsel in distress.
Shredder calls him a useless jellyfish.
Yeah, I remember the jellyfish.
Wow.
That's kind of random, but I guess it works.
Yeah. He's spineless, so Leo goes in, frees Splinter in nick of time. Raphael dives out of the contraption just as the battering ram comes, blows it up. Everything's destroyed. Everybody's saved. Shredder has like Baxter like over his shoulder, and, like jumps out the hole that was created.
Why is he picking them up? Okay, he can walk. He didn't get injured.
This dude is useless at this point. Like, it's just like,
dear.
Just that's why I'm starting to really agree with Shredder. Like, Everybody around him is inept.
Everybody's around him. Everybody's just an idiot.
Yeah. Like, oh. Granted, he shouldn't have done his like convoluted master plan speech because he probably could have at least killed Splinter.
Or just like killed him right there as opposed to
battering. Like you got a sword, bro. Just stab him.
Shredder should have kept this guy on the roster, the guy who can jump kick a safe open.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, turn him into a mutant. Like, imagine how strong that guy would be. Like it was an elephant or something.
He'd be unstoppable.
Yeah. Forget Bebop or Rocksteady. So, Turtle save the day. Splinter's safe. Shredder takes off. And of course, Shredder has to check in with Krang. And this part was actually hilarious to me because she's checking in with Krang. Krang is like basically berates him again, tells him he's an idiot or whatnot. And at the end of it, I think it's Bebop. He's just like, yeah, bozo.
Yep.
And then like Rocksteady's just like, bozo.
Yeah.
Wow. Like your own creations are now like totally dissing you to your face. Like,
rubbing it in. Do you see how Krang has his body put its hands on its hips? I don't know, but that was pretty funny to me.
I did not notice that.
Oh. When they cut to the police, I guess it's on the TV or whatever, where their police are carrying all of the thugs away from the junkyard or wherever if it was that they were fighting. You see all of the bad guys, in their little demise situations. The guys in the cans, the guys with the tires on them. Did you see the two guys that jumped on the couch were still being held upright by the springs?
Yes.
And they were just carrying them away like that.
Yeah. Oh, afterward. Okay, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. And I also noticed that they actually kept the dude in the drum that was all beaten to shit. He was still in there.
Well, they can't get him out.
He's dead. He's like... Yeah, so eventually it cuts over to April, who has been able to clear the turtle's name. So they're no longer a menace. It's all false. And Byrne actually has to stand up to his girlfriend Tiffany and be like, she's like, you let her say that? Blah, blah, blah. I can't believe this. He's like, well, it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I knew you were no good turtle lover. And he tries to talk his way out of it. And at that point, Irma comes in with mock turtle soup.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, and was like, gives it to him. And she's like, I knew it. And like his girlfriend like dumps it on his head. And Irma's like, oh, I guess she didn't like soup either.
And Byrne has third-degree burns and was then sent to the hospital.
On his scalp. God. Jesus.
Have you all ever had turtle soup before?
I have not.
No.
I was just curious. That would have been awesome if one of you had it before.
No.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too, yeah. But the turtles are back in their lair with Master Splinter, like in another room I haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And they're watching TV. They got TV's galore. And April goes ahead and gives her report. They're all good. She winks at the end of her report.
I love this.
She basically says, we don't know, nobody knows who these green guys are that saved the day, but whoever you are, thanks. And then she winks, because obviously she knows who they are, and that's what the wink is supposed. She's winking at them, but like nobody else is supposed to really know that. He said, then this, and I have multiple questions about what happened.
Oh, wow.
Next.
Yeah, at this point, the turtles start arguing with each other over who she was winking at. And at some point, during the whole commotion, April somehow breaks the fourth wall, maybe, or is aware that they're arguing over her, and so she just divulges that she's actually winking at Splinter.
Yeah, she just says that on the air after like a 5-second pause while they argue amongst themselves. All of a sudden, the camera is just still on her, I guess, just staring at the camera in the meantime. And then she says, fellas, if you must know, I was winking at Splinter. So what do you think the other people watching this newscast are like, what in the hell are they thinking is going on?
It's like the cameraman forgot to cut. Like, what? Like, who the hell was she talking to?
Well, they were sitting there looking at the TV with her just staring back at them. Like you said, the long pause of dead air with the camera just on her face. People are like, what, did they lose feed or what's happening right now?
yeah. Is there a cut to the Indian, kind of thing? Like,
oh, gee. Wow.
We'll be back shortly. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we can add omnipotence to April's growing list of superpowers, super strength, omnipotence.
Yes.
Anybody want to mention what happens next? Or is
that's all you.
Am I the only one
man.
that absolutely loved this? This is like the best part of the episode. After she says that, the camera kind of like cuts to Splinter, and he's like got this sly look on his face, and he goes, "Age has its privileges," and then he winks.
Yes.
Okay, so he did wink. I didn't like imagine that.
Oh
no, he didn't imagine that. He winks.
Oh my god! So that just elevates it to even creepier old man status.
I don't know, like exactly what he's implying.
Oh, he's like privileges. Like, oh, you got rights to this?
You know how people always say older people, the elderly are kind of cute, in their own ways, the little things they do, the way they talk, the clothes they wear. Sure. And I just took it as, as you get older, people start to take to you a little bit more, flirt with playfully, older people. Man. Just, I took it as that, You guys are calling the man a creepy pervert. Dang. I
didn't say that.
No, I think that's what you was getting at. Y'all called Splinter senile the last time, a couple episodes ago.
And I had no part of that either.
No, that was all Chris.
I mean, you guys were making fun of the way this man moves, like talking about how he just falls down. He's not capable. It's just like, all right. I wasn't even on that dog pile. I was just like sitting here, and you guys were like, "Oh, look at this old rat! He can't even stand up. He can't even get away."
I can't defend him on that.
It's kind of funny how every time somebody breaks through a wall to get Splinter, he's always asleep
or meditating.
You think he's just like, screw this. Like, I'm tired of being woken up by this shit.
Wait a minute. You just made another amazing point. Very always somebody breaking through a wall.
It's like the Kool-Aid guy.
I think we need to
new counter of Splinter getting woken up.
That's a new counter for you.
Woken up by somebody busting through the wall.
That's the new tracker.
That's a new counter for you.
All right, hold on. I actually will do this.
Oh my gosh.
It was 2 in one episode. What was the Mousers episode? Was that episode 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got season 1, episode 3.
I love this.
Woken up by Mousers in sewer, and then woken up by Mousers in the second time was in April's apartment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then not just woken up by them, but then busting through. And then this one,
he's definitely got like a delayed reaction because he's like standing there. He's like sitting there meditating. And like in this episode, he like turns around and looks at the wall, like literally like cracking and crumbling. And then he doesn't do anything until it actually blows open.
Yeah, he says, doesn't he say something like, "What's that noise?"
Wow.
not in Michelangelo voice like I did it, but he says something like, "What could that be?" And then all of a sudden it's just like the whole wall goes goes like flying in, and he tries to get away, kind of.
So you up to 3 now, right?
Yeah, we got three of Splinter being woken up by things busting through a wall.
I love it.
How did they catch him the first time? Didn't they bust through a wall?
No, they the Rodney Dangerfields shot their little ropes out and grabbed him.
Oh,
out of the Technotron.
Oh, right.
Rodney Dangerfields.
Whatever.
They roadkill Rodneys or something like that, or
Road Raging Rodney.
Yeah.
Road, yeah.
All right, now we got another counter. So once we hit 10 bust through walls, we got to go bust through somebody's wall? Is that?
Yeah, we got to wake him up by busting through the wall.
Great. That'll grow real awesome.
What do we do when we reach 10 entire buildings crumbling down?
We all get arrested. That's the end of us.
Yeah, we're all implicated.
Yep. Make sure you pick a good building.
Wow. Hey, wait, listen, this is not.
Yeah, we do not condone violence of any kind.
Yeah, not officially.
So was that it?
Yeah, that's the end. Splinter having his moment, and then it cuts. So, yeah, I thought it was a great, season opener, in my opinion. So,
it was fantastic. It was a great one.
I was like, if this is the tone, then we're in for a treat.
We're going places.
Giving it a full 10?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, it didn't rock that hard, but it was pretty cool. It was. I'm gonna give this one 9.
It's hard to give. Yeah, it's hard to give a full 10 to something that's only this good on accident.
Yeah, like this was not intentional. Like the shit we saw was just like either that or they were definitely writing to us, not the children.
So you're giving it a 9?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Robert?
I'm also gonna give it a 9.
Okay. I mean, that's still a very high score.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
It was cool. Yeah, I mean, I watched it a couple of times, and every time I was just like engaged.
Yeah. Would you all say that this is the episode you laughed the most out of? All of them so far?
Probably, yeah.
For the unintentional. So I'm going to give it a 10.
Nice.
And the reason I'm giving it a 10 is kind of what you guys just said the opposite of. I'm giving it a 10 because of how good of a time I had. Not because the writing was good, the plot was good, developments were good, the action scenes were good, the art was good. I, like I said, not exaggerating, had a big goofy grin on my face the entire time watching this episode. And I needed it because it was, I watched it in the middle of the week or whatever, and it's been a long week. This hit the spot. Nice. All of the stupid little things, the stupid little mess ups, and the wackiness of it all, straight up 10 for me. The story, I couldn't even rate the story. Was it a good, plot for the season? I don't know. I just know I was laughing the whole thing. So 10 for me.
You just know you dug it. That's cool. I respect that.
That's a good, yeah. I like that. I like it.
I do think it actually was a good plot opener for the season, or season opener in the sense of like for the plot and driving the story. Because now Shredder's out here on his own with his fucking dick in his hand. Like, nobody's helping this guy. Like, people are messing him up. So he's like trying to figure this out, trying to get some backup, trying to, make things happen. And so it's going to be cool to see not only how Shredder, shakes and moves, but I don't think we're going to just be dealing with Shredder now. Because of his situation, it's a new season, so I think they're going to flesh out maybe some more antagonists, and the Turtles are going to have some other journeys other than something so Shredder centric. Yeah. I mean, that's just me. That's what I'm anticipating. I haven't seen this season, since I was a kid. I haven't watched anything up ahead, so I'm just kind of actually, pseudo hoping for a little more. Who else is there? A little more of the Rogues Gallery getting fleshed out.
I've actually watched most of the season, although it's been a few weeks, so I don't remember exactly how it progresses. But I don't want to speculate because I'll probably half remember something correctly and give it away.
Okay, far out. So now we've covered the episode. We have to.
I hear somebody calling me. I gotta go.
We have to, settle some business here. As of this episode, we've hit 11 unique types of pizza the Turtles like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So we promised our audience that once we hit 10, we would eat one of these pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we would come up with a way that we would all have the same pizza, and we would just use some sort of randomizer to decide which pizza we are going to eat.
I'm going to I've pulled up a random number generator. I can give it 1 to 11. Is 11, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at the list real quick.
Please, 11.
We've got Mike. Why don't you read them off? This is your list. So
if I hadn't started this list, we wouldn't be in this situation, I feel.
You're right.
This is my fault, people.
Jettisons.
Well, we got pepperoni and ice cream, jelly beans and mushrooms, anchovies and peanut butter, sashimi, whipped cream, bananas and sausage,
I'm okay with that.
cornflakes, raisin bran, choco puffs, then peanut butter and jelly, not peanut butter and anchovies. This is just straight up peanut butter and jelly. And lastly, chocolate chips and caramel fudge.
Okay, so we're gonna hit the number generator and get one of these, and we're gonna eat it next time. Do we want to say that we can pick one? Basically, we get one mulligan, like we can cross one off the list.
I like it.
But here's the thing. I really do not want to eat an anchovies and peanut butter pizza.
God, that's for some reason that's the one that actually really stands out as not wanting to eat.
Because it's the most disgusting.
Man, spin the doggone wheel, man. Let's get this over with. See
Okay, all right. If it lands on that one, we'll figure out then whether
you guys voted for mulligan, so mulligan happens. That's cool.
I'm gonna spin it. We got you. You guys ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. It is
11.
chocolate chips and caramel fudge.
Wow.
That's what I wanted.
All right. Good old number 11. Or number 11.
Wow. I need to go to casino.
Chocolate chip. I was actually kind of like curious about what. Not that this will be good, but just, like I can't. My mind cannot compute what a whipped cream pizza would taste like. I can't like. I can't like. It just can't. I can't imagine it. Like the rest of these, I can be like, okay, this would be weird. This would be weird. I have some reason whipped cream just like I have, like it just breaks my ability to. Yeah, like anticipate what it might be like.
So is everyone's base pizza going to be just a regular cheese pizza?
That's how I understand it.
Yes, with the exception of me, since I'm very lactose intolerant, I will be ordering a just. This is gonna be hilarious, actually. So I've ordered cheeseless pizzas before. Domino's is like that's the place. That's like the only place nearby that you can order delivery from, and they're really good about actually leaving off the cheese when you say no cheese. But I've never ordered. Like usually there's like something on it besides just tomato sauce. This time I'm going to be just ordering a pizza with tomato sauce.
We only have to eat one slice though, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. So you can just order.
No, you have to eat the entire pizza.
Well, sir, you can take that idea.
Yeah, you can just polish it up real nice. Turn that son of a bitch sideways.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, if we're just eating the one slice, then yeah, I mean, I guess we could eat, we can order whatever pizza we want. You can have your cheeseless pizza, but order it like you usually do and just have the one slice. We just take everything off.
Just like take off the pepperonis or whatever on one piece.
How's that sound?
Okay. Okay. That's a good idea,
I'm gonna
actually.
do that too. That's a good call, Mike.
Okay, cool.
That's a good call as opposed to ruining an entire pizza.
I got a $15 piece of shit in front of me. Great. It's like I feel like Owen Wilson in Armageddon, where he's talking about like getting on the space shuttle. He's like, I'm not sure if it's 90% excitement and 10% scared, or 90% scared and 10% excited.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, on that note, was there anything else, guys? Anything?
Do we have any emails yet?
I had not last I checked, but I can definitely do that.
So our email address is, what is it?
It is turtles@coolbutrude.com.
Nice.
Awesome.
We fancy now.
Well, guys, I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, so am I. That was awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in this week. On next week's episode, we are going to be going over season 2, episode 2, The Incredible Shrinking Turtles. So stay tuned for that.